friends, it's been a while. I did not intend to take such a long break from posting on here, but unfortunately life got in the way. Without going into too much detail, just some really difficult things have been going on in my personal life with my family. As you can see, I'm also with a different background because I am staying with my family in the Netherlands. I've been here since a few weeks and will probably be here for the unforeseeable future. Yeah, I don't really know how much I want to share about this because I don't have any problem talking about my personal life and feelings on the internet and sharing my innermost thoughts. But when it comes to the people around me, I don't really want to do that because it's their life as well and they didn't choose to be, you know, blasted on the internet like that. So yeah, I don't want to say too much about it, but it's been really hard here and it still is. And it probably will be for a while. So it's been a little bit hard to show up on here and make videos because first of all, I don't really know what to make videos about because my life is just, you know, being here for my family and helping out and taking care of them. So I don't really have anything interesting to show on here. And the other thing is like, because I find it so hard to talk about these personal things that don't only concern me, I didn't really know how to show up on here without being dishonest because I also don't want to like make a video and pretend everything's fine because it's not. So I guess this is sort of like a middle ground. And if you're wondering like why are you pushing yourself to film at all, I miss it. Like this is my way of connecting with a like-minded community and it's been my life for so many years now. So if I don't do it for a long time, I feel a little bit weird. I feel a little bit unbalanced, but you know, I wanted to make a video. I felt this desire to do it, so I thought I could do it in the only way I can, and that is to talk about books, because no matter how horrible and difficult and shitty life gets, books are always there. And I didn't have as much time to read in the past few weeks or in the summer considering everything that's going on, but I certainly had the time to buy books because that's definitely an issue of mine. I am an emotional buyer. If I feel bad, I'm gonna buy things, and usually those things are books, which, you know, it could have been worse, I guess, because books are not the most expensive thing, but it's definitely an issue. Also a space issue because now I'm like, how am I ever gonna get all these books back to Italy? We'll see. But I thought we could just do a chill video today talking about the books I bought, the ones I did read, and yeah, just hang out for a bit. I would be honored if you took the time to hang out with me for a bit. Okay, the first book I have here is Rules of the Heart by Janice Hadlow. And I feel like this book deceived me a little bit because this was at the romance section. And I feel like in the end, this was not a romance. I did read this. I finished it a few days ago, actually. This is by the author of The Other Bennett Sister, which is now a BBC show that I really want to see. I have to figure out where I can watch that here. Which made me intrigued. And this sounded delightful. It's about a woman called Harriet, and she has married a duke. So she seemingly has it all. She's rich, married to a duke, moves in fashionable circles, but then she enters an affair with the captivating Lord Granville, who is 12 years her junior and a famous heartbreaker. I probably should have already guessed from that this is not a romance because cheating is not particularly romantic, but I have to say that her husband was an abusive man, which, like, I don't want to say there is an excuse for cheating, but if there ever was one, I guess that would be it. But this was not romantic at all. This was such a drag to get through because basically, I mean, if as a woman you had an affair in that time, you had no rights. Like, your husband could divorce you and could forbid you from ever seeing your children again, all of that. So when this Harriet enters this affair, she knows she's risking everything in her life. And basically, this entire book is just her being stressed and being depressed about the consequences of her own actions. Like, there's not one romantic moment in this book. Nothing that had me like giggling and kicking my feet, which is what I was really hoping for. And it was just really depressing. So I guess in that sense, I just had the wrong expectations because it is a really good portrayal of what it was like to be a woman in that time. Even if you were really rich and like moving in the elite circles, you had no rights whatsoever. And I love the historical aspect of it. Like, that was really well done, and you can tell that this author really did her research. I later, at the end, also discovered that this is based on a true story. So Harriet really existed, this affair really happened, and the author learned about her story through all the letters that Harriet sent in her lifetime, which is super interesting. but just the whole mood of the book was so heavy and depressing, and there was just nothing really to look forward to in a way that I found it really hard to get through. Maybe also because my own mood is heavy and depressing, so this was not exactly the right book for me to read right now. But yeah, I was not a huge fan, unfortunately. I'm still really curious about the other Bennett sister though, so I might still give that a read sometime. The next books I want to talk about, I feel like I need to explain a little bit about myself as a person. And that is whenever I feel not good mentally, I feel heavily drawn to the books that I read in my childhood and my teens. And I guess that's just because they give me a sense of like safety and nostalgia. And that is something I really crave when I feel bad. Like I just need that feeling of safety and something I know and recognize. So I've been reading a lot of books that I loved in my teens. And one of those series was the Ruby Red trilogy by Kerstin Gier. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's a German author. But I do think these are also translated into English. I'm pretty sure actually. These are the Dutch editions, and look at those covers. These are new editions. I didn't have these when I was young. They're so kitsch, but like in the best way. I absolutely adore this. Like, I just know I would have gone crazy for this if I was like 12 years old. There's also like little notes and stuff inside, like family trees. Absolutely amazing. So I do think I read these when I was like around 13, and I was obsessed with this trilogy. It's a time travel trilogy. It's about Gwendolyn, and she grows up in a time travel family. Like each generation, one of the girls in her family gets the time traveling like gen. Gen? Is that also a word in English? I think so. And it's commonly believed that her niece Charlotte will get the time traveling gen because she was born on the right day. So Charlotte has been prepared for this her entire life. She's been getting lessons in history and embroidery and horse riding and French and all of that. But then it turns out that actually Gwendolyn has the gems. So she's completely unprepared. She has no idea what's going on. And then she has to, embark on these time traveling missions with a really annoying, pretentious guy called Gideon, who is like the male equivalent. Like his family has the time traveling gen as well, but like in the male line. And that's where the story begins. And I just remember loving this story so much. I think I read it multiple times as a teen or like a kid, like sort of in between. So I really wanted to give it another try at this age, and I do not regret it. I've been having so much fun. It's definitely a bit more childish than I remember, which is strange because the main characters are like 16. But the writing style is a bit juvenile. Like I would say this is more something for you if you're like 12, 13. So it reads like a middle grade, even though the main characters are a little bit older. But it was not bothering me because I was just having such a good time. So far I've read the first two books. The first one is called Ruby Red. Then we have Sapphire Blue. And the last one is Emerald Green. And I still have to read that one. This one is also the biggest. But yeah, if you love time travel books and don't mind like a middle grade, I really recommend these. Or if you have like a young person in your life from like 10 to 13, I would say, these are so fun. So fun. Staying in that vein, I also bought a children's book that is very popular in the Netherlands right now. I think it's translated from English actually. It's called October by Katja Balen. This cover is so beautiful. I saw someone post this on their story and just say that it was a really heartwarming, beautiful story, and I was like, yes, I need that. I've been reading more children's books since last year, just because, I don't know, the writing style is often so beautiful in its simplicity, and there's just so many like beautiful lessons in them. I've really been enjoying them. And this one is about a girl called October, and she lives in the forest with her father. They live a small life just caring for nature and the animals. But then one year everything changes. October's father falls from a tree, and the woman who calls herself October's mother comes back for her and takes her back to the normal world. And that's when everything changes. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I did hear that it's like a perfect read for October naturally. So I might save it a little bit more till the end of summer. But I'm really excited about it. Then let's go to a more literary vibe. This is Whistler by Anne Patchett. I got this for my birthday from one of my friends, and I really wanted this book. Anne Patchett is a wonderful writer. I read her, what is it called? I don't remember, but like her essay collection. I'll put the title on the screen because I don't remember right now, but her writing is just really, really good. I have not read any of her fiction books, but I fully believe it's wonderful because she's won so many prizes, and I know she's a very beloved author. And I've heard a lot of good things about this one. I think this book is about like the way human lives can connect in like small and big ways and have like a profound impact on each other, which is something I really, really enjoy. Like I read The Correspondent earlier this year, and I just cannot stop thinking about that book because it just shows how messy and painful and wonderful and beautiful our human lives are, and that everyone experiences that in their own little ways. Yeah, it just had a really big impact on me, and this sounds like it could be a similar vibe. Maybe I'm completely wrong, I don't know. But it's about Daphne, who notices an older gentleman following her around the museum in New York, and she doesn't expect it to be Eddie, her former stepfather. He was married to her mother for a short time when Daphne was 9, and she hasn't seen Eddie for many years. Not since the fateful event that changed the direction of both their lives. Meeting again now, Daphne and Eddie feel that time has fallen away. Their earlier relationship was brief but had a profound impact on both of them. Together they consider not only their past, but the joys of the present and their commitment to face the future together. Like, that just sounds like the exact type of book I want to read right now. Something hopeful and beautiful and touching, and I have such high expectations since the reviews are so high. So we'll see. Technically, I did not buy this book. My boyfriend bought it, but I want to talk about it anyway because I'm definitely going to read it. It's Solace House by Will McLean. Taking that beautiful cover that is so stunning. And the moment I knew I was going to read this is when I saw this review which says, "The Secret History meets The Haunting of Hill House." Sold. Like, you don't have to tell me any more than that. I will read the book. But it sounds really cool as well. It's the summer of 1993, and a group of students is tasked with clearing out an old Victorian mansion that is bequeathed to the university by a reclusive hoarder called Flame. And when the students start sorting through all the piles of junk in the house, they find the man's old journals, in which it becomes apparent that he was obsessed with the disappearance of his mother, but also his belief in another realm lying parallel to ours. And he left coded instructions as to how it might be reached. And then the students sort of become obsessed with this idea, and it says they may be willing to sacrifice everything and everyone to get there. I'm so intrigued. And then I think I also saw a TikTok video, maybe it was Melissa, I'm not sure, who said this was one of the like strangest and most interesting books she's read in a long time. And I cannot wait to get to this, but I kind of want to let my boyfriend read it first because I always destroy my books and it's so nice and pristine right now, so I don't want to like be the first one to tear through this, but I'm really curious. Then we have The Inn at the Foot of Mount Vengeance by Kira Bullen. I got this for my birthday from my boyfriend. Like, I asked this book, and there's another cover of this book which is so good. I'll put it on the screen. I love that edition. They just didn't have it at the bookstore here, unfortunately, so I had to content myself with this one, which is also pretty, but it's a bit more like standard fantasy cover, I suppose. This is a cozy fantasy, and it sounds really interesting because it basically centers on the inn that is set at the foot of Mount Vengeance, but like this mountain is like the mountain where everyone goes to have their like hero quest. It's where like the warriors go to slay dragons. So basically this would be Lord of the Rings or the Hobbits, where like the hobbits go on their quest. And then this book takes place at the one inn they stay at like one night. That's basically it, which I think is such a fun concept. And then this story follows Ainsworth, who is an ambitious young scholar, and he goes to the inn to actually research the mountain and especially the adventurers who go on this mountain. But then as he comes there, he discovers that it seems like no one actually climbs that mountain. Everyone just comes to the inn, stays for a night, and then leaves. So this is a mystery he intends to unravel. Cozy fantasy is a little bit hit or miss for me. They have the potential to be really fun and just cozy, but actually also have a plot happening. And sometimes there's just no plot at all, and it just gets really boring and repetitive. And like an example of that for me would be Legends and Lattes, I believe it was. I really didn't enjoy that one. I need a little bit more plot to keep me going. And this one, like, I'm not sure. It might be, it's on the edge. We'll see how it goes. But it sounds fun. I really like the concept of, like, the inn. So I'm gonna give it a go. Okay, you know, I just told you that I have been going back to my teenage reads to have a sense of safety. Well, there is a series that I started reading now to also have that same feeling of, like, you know, being young and safe and having not a worry in the world. And that is the Shadowhunter series by Cassandra Clare. I started the first book, City of Bones, like halfway through, and I already know my obsession is gonna come back just as hard as I had it when I was a teen. This is still holding up, guys. Like, sometimes I read things that I loved as a teen and I'm like, dear God, why? This one is still good. Like, the writing is actually really good. You can say what you want, but I am flying through this. It's really fast paced. Like, it could be a little less fast for my taste now because I love slow books, but it's keeping me so entertained, and the descriptions of all the places and stuff, they're so good. Like, I really feel like I'm there. And I really remember what I love most about this series is that it includes every, or almost every, like, mythological fairy tale being. There's vampires, werewolves, ghosts, fairies, kelpies, nixies, selkies. Like, everything is in there, which is something I really, really loved. And like all those creatures coming together in one world. Yeah, I'm kind of like upset with myself that I did this because now I have to buy the whole series again. Like, I got rid of all the books when I was like 18 because I was like, okay, I've read them so many times now. This era of my life is over. I can sell them because I need space. So I got rid of all of those books, and now I'm like, I want all of them again because I just know I'm gonna want to continue with this series. And I guess I could put them on my e-reader, but I just love physical books so much. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can find them actually on Vinted or something for cheap. That would actually help me a lot. So we'll see. And I actually wanted to read the Infernal Devices trilogy, which is a trilogy set in the same world, but like in the past, but also focuses on Shadowhunters. And they had it at my bookstore, my local bookstore. And I was like, no, I'm already buying so many books. I'm going to think about this. I came back a few days later. It was sold. So someone is still buying the Shadowhunter books in this day and age, which I absolutely love. Like, a baddie was born for sure. But yeah, it also meant that I could not buy those books and had to switch to the main Shadowhunter series instead. But I have no regrets whatsoever. I feel like this was such a chaotic bit. I'm really sorry. Like, I'm just very passionate about this. Like, if you loved these as a teen and were doubting if you would love them now, I think you would. I think you should give it a go. Then another literary fiction book. I can still be serious, guys, I promise. This one is People in Love by Claire Daverly. This was definitely a bit of a cover buy. I felt really attracted to this color palette, but it also sounds really good. It sounds a little bit Sally Rooney, I would say. It's about Nora, who is in a happy-ish relationship. Her partner Robin proposed to her and she said yes. But then right around this time and on the night of their engagement party, Bren, her like first love, I think, shows up on her doorstep. And growing up, they were the best of friends and everyone thought they would end up together. A sudden heartbreak turned their lives upside down. Bren left, Nora stayed, and the silent longing between them remained unspoken. And now he's back and Nora has to make up her mind on what she wants in life. So again, I hope that's not a cheating trope. I think this had really good reviews, which tipped me over the edge of actually getting it. I'm curious. I think this would have been a good beach read if I were on vacation, but I'm not. We'll see. If you've read this, let me know what your thoughts were. And then lastly, we have The Unicorn Hunters by Catherine Arden, which is maybe the most beautiful cover in this haul. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Like, I would hang this painting on my wall personally. This is so stunning. This is by Catherine Arden, who wrote the Winter Night trilogy, which is a trilogy that I finished last year, the beginning of this year. I loved it. It was so good. It weaved folklore through like a new original story so well, and it was the perfect winter read. It was everything I could ever want and more. So naturally, I'm going to read her new book. I have had this for a while. I've had this for like since the beginning of summer, I feel like. And I still haven't gotten to it. And I don't know why, like every time I open it with good intentions, I feel like I have to push through a little and I'm just not in the mood for that. Because it has a historical setting as well. It's a fantasy, but it's set in like a time when Brittany and France were at war. I don't know which years those were. I would have to look that up. But yeah, basically it follows Anne, who is the Duchess of Brittany, and France wants to marry her to their king, which basically would put her title, lands, and body forever in the hands of her enemies. And she doesn't want that, so she needs to find an alternative. So basically she pretends to be betrothed to the King of France, but secretly she's going after France's biggest rival. And then it gets confusing because there's also like a forest called I don't even know how to pronounce that, which was once the haunt of Merlin the Enchanter and the long-lost Fairy Queen. Magic is long gone, except the occasional sight of a unicorn. And I think then she decides to organize a unicorn hunt so she can marry in secret to, like, the rival of France. Like, I'm explaining this so badly, but it's also a bit confusing, not gonna lie. Like, it's a long description and I'm still like, what? But yeah, I think it's also because there's just a lot of politics going on, a lot of historical elements woven through the story, which is something I really enjoy because she also did that in the Winter Night trilogy. But I haven't found the right determination and mindset yet to get into it. But I did see that this book also had really good reviews and ratings, so I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I just need to find the right moment to actually read it. Like, I feel like this would be a really good autumn winter read as well, so I might just save it for that, when hopefully I have a bit more mind space to actually read it. But yeah, that was the last book. Those were all the books I acquired this summer, and I'm sure there will be many more, especially if I decide to buy the entire Shadowhunters series, which I think is 6 books total. And then you have the Infernal Devices trilogy, which is like another 3 books. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys updated. Yeah, clearly I don't know how many times I can upload on here, when I can find the time, when I can find something to actually share. If there's something you would like to see that is like easily doable for me right now, don't hesitate to tell me, because I can use any idea right now. Thank you so much for being here and for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Goodbye!